You're standing in a hallway at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. The tablet in your hand is still warm from your grip. One word sits at the top of the report. Green. Bold. Perfect. Every line, every plant, every warehouse. You've read this exact word every single morning for 11 years. Then a video plays. Someone sent it overnight with no message attached. A hand trembling, reaching too close to a conveyor belt. A spark. A man jumping back half a second before the belt catches his sleeve. The timestamp says 3 weeks ago. The report, in your other hand, says nothing happened that week. You built this company from nothing. You've read 1,000 reports like the one in your hand. You believed every word of them. Tonight is the first time you've wondered how many of those words were true. Level 1, the decision. You've run this company for 11 years. 14,000 employees across 6 states. $400 million in annual revenue. You built a reputation on safety and transparency, and you've never once questioned it. Not until tonight. You call your general counsel. She tells you to let legal handle it internally. You call your chief operating officer. He tells you the video is probably fake, probably a competitor, probably nothing. You've heard versions of this sentence before. You've believed it every time. This time, you don't. You go to a hardware store 2 towns over and buy a lanyard for $11. You shave 2 days of stubble you weren't planning to grow. You write yourself a new name on a job application. Marcus Webb, 41, 6 years of warehouse experience that doesn't exist. You submit it through a temp agency instead of your own HR department. 3 days later, you're hired for a warehouse position at your own company at $19 an hour by a hiring manager who has worked for you for 6 years and has never once seen your face. Level 2, the floor. The floor is louder than any report ever described it. A conveyor system worth $2.3 million, approved by you personally 18 months ago, is actual noise now. Actual heat. A forklift passes 4 feet from your shoulder, moving faster than you thought anything that size could move indoors. Nobody looks at you twice. 11 years running this place, and not one face on this floor has ever needed to know yours. Someone hands you gloves 2 sizes too large. Nobody checks if they fit. You clock in at 5:47 a.m. and clock out at 4:12 p.m. 10 hours and 25 minutes on your feet. For less than you tip a waiter at dinner. Somewhere above this floor, in a lobby you walk through every day, there's a framed photograph of this exact line, taken for last year's shareholder report. Everyone in the photo is smiling. Nobody told the camera about the heat. You think about that photograph for the rest of your shift. Your back aches by hour 4. Your legs ache by hour 7. You've sat in a leather chair for 11 years reading about operational efficiency without once understanding what the word costs the people producing it. You go home that night and don't tell your wife where you actually were. She thinks you're at a conference in Denver. You let her believe it. Level 3, the coworker. His name is Marcus, same first name you gave yourself by accident, and you don't correct it when he introduces himself. 6 years on this line. He complains about corporate within the first 10 minutes of your shift, not knowing corporate is standing next to him holding a clipboard upside down. They don't actually care, he tells you. They just want the numbers to look good for the next report. You ask him what he means. He tells you about the safety checks that get skipped 3 times a week because the line isn't allowed to stop. Not for inspections, not for a man's trembling hand near a belt that's still running. He tells you about a coworker who lost 2 fingers 18 months ago, the same month the shareholder photo was taken. He's not angry when he says it. That's what gets you. He's tired. He stopped expecting anything different long before you ever walked onto this floor. Level 4, the paper trail. You start finding the forms, stacked in a break room drawer, half filled out, unsigned. 11 incident reports started and never finished, because finishing them meant someone upstairs would have to read them. You find a maintenance log with the same entry repeated for 11 straight months. Inspected. No issues found. Same handwriting. Same time of day. Always 6:15 p.m. Always 5 minutes before the shift change. You start to understand that a report doesn't have to be false to be a lie. It only has to stop asking questions at exactly the right moment. Level 5, the manager. Deeper in the building, in a supervisor's office you were never meant to see, a man named Dale is filling out the exact report you read at 6 that morning. Except now, you're watching him build it in real time. He rounds a number down from 4 incidents to 1. He leaves out a line entirely. He explains it to another supervisor like it's routine, like it's simply how the job works. Leadership doesn't need every detail, he says. They need it to look clean. You watch the lie get assembled piece by piece, not by a villain, by a man doing exactly what everyone above him trained him to do for the 6 years he's worked here. This is the mechanism. This is how perfect gets manufactured, one rounded down number at a time, until nothing is left around by the time it reaches your desk. Level 6, the pattern. Once you see it here, you see it everywhere. A missed inspection, a complaint that never reached the right desk, a safety concern quietly reclassified as a process note in a spreadsheet nobody outside the building will ever open. You think back to the board meeting 6 months ago where you praised this facility by name. You think about the bonus you personally approved for its leadership team, $112,000 for operational excellence. You signed that number yourself. You never once asked what it was built on. It's a strange kind of grief, realizing your own signature has been resting on top of other people's silence for years without your knowledge. You start pulling old reports going back 3 years. The language is always the same. Perfect. Clean. On target. You start to wonder if the word ever meant anything at all. Level 7, the overheard. You're in the break room, unnoticed when 2 people from your own leadership team walk in mid-conversation. They're talking about you. Not cruelly, almost fondly. You just have to manage what he sees, one of them says. He doesn't need the whole picture. He needs to feel like everything's under control. He, meaning you, managed exactly like the report, exactly like Dale's numbers. You realize the filtering doesn't start on the factory floor. It starts 3 feet from your own office door, and it has for years. Level 8, the inner circle. This is the level that breaks something in you. People you've trusted with more than your calendar for a decade. People you've called friends at company dinners, not just colleagues. You watch them do to you exactly what Dale did to the safety log. Smooth it, soften it, protect you from anything that might make the next meeting harder than it has to be. Nobody in this building set out to lie to you. They learned it slowly, one polished update at a time, that honesty costs more around you than the version that keeps you calm. You built a company where the truth became the most expensive thing anyone could offer you, and everyone around you found it cheaper to manage you instead. Level 9, the choice. You could walk back into your office tomorrow and fire everyone who ever softened a number for you. 19 names by your count. That wouldn't fix anything. New people would learn the exact same lesson within a month, softening the next report the exact same way. Because the lesson isn't taught by any one person. It's taught by the desk itself. So instead, you go back to Dale. Level 10, the desk. You sit across from him without the lanyard this time. You tell him who you've actually been for the past 19 days. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't even look surprised. Everyone does this, he says, not as an excuse, but as a fact he genuinely believes. That's the part that stays with you longest. He's not a villain. He's a symptom of a system you built without ever meaning to. One bonus, one shareholder photo, one closed door meeting at a time. You let him keep his job. You build a new reporting channel instead, one that runs directly to your desk with nothing between you and it. For 11 weeks, it works. Then, you're back in the suit, back behind the desk, and a new report is waiting for you on a Monday morning. It says, perfect. You look at it longer than you've ever looked at a report before. The problem was never Dale. The problem is the desk. As long as you're sitting behind it, there will always be someone deciding what you're ready to hear. Somewhere in another city right now, another executive reads a report that says everything is fine and believes it, because believing it costs nothing and finding out costs everything. He doesn't know about the trembling hand. He doesn't know about Dale or Marcus or the photograph in the lobby lit warm and gold for a camera that never saw the heat. He just knows the word at the top of the page. Perfect. The cycle continues.